What are you trying to say, okay? So guys, this is the reality of being a book girly with a 9 to 5, okay? The one thing I didn't want to happen. Welcome to the video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Miles. I make booktube videos, and it's a big goal of mine this year to just be active, and I'm loving it so much. Make sure you guys subscribe and join the Bestie fam if you like my videos, and let's get into it. Hello, friends. We have come here today to talk about my TikTok addiction. A month ago, TikTok shut down, and I genuinely did not know what to do with my life. I was like, wow, I have no choice but to read. Reading I did. So for today's video, we are going to be trading the amount of time that I typically scroll on TikTok to reading. So I'm going to be reading the amount of time that I spent on TikTok the same day the previous week. And here's the thing. I cannot scroll TikTok these days as well. Okay, so like TikTok, I can't scroll it. I was on TikTok for a total of an hour and 33 minutes. That's not bad, to be honest. So I'm going to be reading for an hour and 33 minutes today, and I'm not going to include audiobook time because sometimes I can just whip through an audiobook. Yeah. I'm like honestly kind of in a reading slump, like low key. Every book I've tried to read, I just go back to thinking about The Winners, which is the last book in the Beartown series. And she's a thickums. She's big. So she's about over 600 pages, I want to say. She's a thick book. Yeah, she's about 600 pages, but luckily I have this on my Kindle. Thank you, Libby. So this is, I know, going to be depressing. And from what I've heard, the next day at night, when I tell you today was not it. It was not it, guys. I literally giggled so much on TikTok. Like, TikTok was a lot today. And I listened to like a little bit, maybe a couple chapters on audiobook, but I have not sat down and read at all. It is currently 8:24. We're in 28 minutes. Thursday on TikTok. It is 8:25. If you guys know, my bedtime is like 9:30, 10. Okay, so let's see how much I will be able to read tonight. Our goal is an hour and 28. Let's put the timer on. But tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I needed to do my nails like really bad because we're going to a dinner, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it tomorrow. I already know I'm gonna have work. And so guys, this is the reality of being a book girly with a 9 to 5, okay? A lot of these girls, you know, if they read for a living, an hour and 28 minutes would be absolutely nothing. For me, some days like today where work was crazy and life was crazy, reading definitely takes a back burner. Thank God for audiobooks. But I'm like, feels so good to be in bed right now. And I had a glass of wine because I needed it. And we're going to start the timer now, and we're gonna see how much I can read, because I don't even know where I really am because I was listening to an audiobook. 32% into the book. I want to finish this book by this weekend, and we can start on another book. And I already know what I'm gonna read, but it's gonna be a surprise for you guys. We go with the good old G, you know. I used to have her in my college days. Let's read, guys. Fredrik Backman, let me tell you guys, he is just a genius. Like, the way he is able to put two separate things and make it like flow together. So you're like, wait, what? Like, I thought we were talking about. Happy Valentine's Day, besties. Today's Valentine's Day and I woke up to a sweet Valentine's little surprise in the morning, and I failed the challenge yesterday. Yes, we don't need to talk about it. I did about half of it. I think I started off like an hour and 28 minutes and I had about 42 minutes left. I did not complete yesterday's challenge. However, I did make up for it because I literally got so far in Beartown. I've been listening to it on audiobook all day and it's just been honestly keeping me calm. I love the Beartown audiobooks. Well, not Beartown, The Winners. Ow. And look how far we are into it now, guys. This is she's thick, okay? With two C's. Like, she is real thick. I want to say we're about page like 372. So we're almost on page 400. I have about 200 pages left of this book, which is a lot. So I'm going to fulfill, today we have an hour and 6 minutes today. Start the timer for an hour and 6 minutes and let's see if I can get it done because it is Valentine's Day. And so I'm going to dinner tonight. So let's see if we can get it done. I also wanted to talk to you guys about Beartown. So let's have a bestie chat. I absolutely adore all the Beartown books, like so much. Rate them like 5 stars. This one, I am enjoying being back in Beartown and the characters, I adore them. I just don't know if it needed a third book and a book that is this long, to be honest, because a lot of the storyline is kind of being drawn out. We're introducing new characters, which is kind of weird for a third and final book to be introducing all these new characters. I feel like the last book we kept the same characters and we got closure. So why we needed a third book, I just don't know. And it's like kind of getting into a whole new plot. It's like starting on like a whole new plot with new characters mixed in and like new scandals, where I feel like the last book was like clearing up the scandals that happened in the first book. So I'm like, okay, so if he was continuing on having like maybe like a fourth book, this would make sense. But why we're doing so much in the last book and we already got a conclusion to the first, I'm struggling a little bit. I absolutely love it. I mean, writing phenomenal, but I'm just struggling with like the purpose of the book, if that makes sense. To be so long, I'm like, okay, I think he did this because this could have really been maybe 2 books and like we're starting new storylines. We have to resolve storylines and yeah, so I think that is interesting that like full series that we're like doing so much in the last book. Current characters, to wrap that up would be not long at all because we wrapped up so much in the second book, so that we're adding all these new people. So we're like having to like, he had to introduce them and their stories, and now we're getting into a storyline with their stories. But I've been loving the audiobook. It only depends on the day. But give you guys some thoughts. There's like not a lot. Obviously I can talk about it's a third book. Fredrik, what a guy, what a man. He knows so much about life. I just would love to pick that man's brain. I didn't start the damn timer. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to read this on my Kindle. I fear I don't have the brain power to read this, to read the physical copy. This challenge is hard, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, timer's on. I usually just like, I think the non-audiobook thing is what's getting to me. If it was counted for audio, I would fly. He always just says like, this will be the last day, one of the last carefree days. Like, what are you trying to say? Okay, like, he just loves a good foreshadow. All of Beartown is just foreshadowing sad things to happen. Fuck me. All right, guys. Beartown so much on the audiobook. Today we have an hour and 33 minutes to read. I've read about 15 minutes. There is a readathon going on in the Discord. So this might be my last day of doing this challenge. This challenge has made me realize I don't like being timed to read because it makes me feel really pressured to do it. I do think my screen time went down by consciously not trying to go on TikTok. So I'm currently like, I want to say like 70% into Beartown right now, The Winners, which is the last book. And it is getting intense. If you guys have read the Beartown series, you'll know like the last 20% of the book is always so intense and everything bad happens. And one bad thing's already happened. It was really rude. It's like just the worst. And I know with the foreshadowing, if you guys know, like the Beartown series is completely foreshadowing terrible things that are gonna happen. So I'm really nervous to finish this book, but I wanna finish it today and then we'll end the challenge. And then tomorrow we'll go over the stats, how much I end up reading, if my screen time actually went down from swapping the amount of time I spent on TikTok. So right now we have an hour and 16 on the clock. At the top of the hour, I'm gonna join the readathon, and I would love to say I was gonna be able to finish this book today, but I don't know if that's the case, but I'm gonna try. Huh? The one thing I didn't want to happen, all 3 books. That already happened. This is the one thing I did not want to happen. Okay, besties, we're here for the roundup of today's video. Okay, so the amount of time I spent on TikTok the week before was 9 hours and 21 minutes total. The amount of time we spent on TikTok this last week where we were reading in exchange for TikTok hours was 8 minutes and 44 minutes. Okay, Is that amazing? No, but progress over perfection. This video made me realize a couple things. One, I hate timing myself read. I absolutely hate timing myself read. Two, I may have ADD or ADHD because the amount of times that I caught myself accidentally scrolling on TikTok or on my phone when I was supposed to be reading is crazy. Like, I would just completely forget the fact that I wasn't supposed to be doing that. Yeah, but did I get a lot of reading done? Yes. Now I want to talk about how I felt about the winners. Oh my gosh, this book is so good. I ended up giving it a 4.5 just because I didn't like the fact that how we introduced so many new characters in the third book. I think this could have been shorter if we just had kept the OG characters and just followed their own stories. Like, it was hard for me to get on board with these new characters and getting into their stories so late in the game. It wasn't my favorite in the entire Beartown series. I rated the other two 5 stars and this one's a 4.5, but this series is a 6-star series. I mean, hands down a 6-star series, no doubt in my mind. This is one of my favorite series I've ever read, and the way I feel about this book, and I just the fact that these characters, Beartown doesn't exist, still amazes me. I'm they feel so real. All their stories feel so real. I mean, the amount of inspo he had to get, there's some, I want to just pick his brain. I need to go down a rabbit hole of how he wrote this book. I had so much fun. This kept me accountable, and make sure you guys like and subscribe. We have so many videos coming. They're all planned up in this brain. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.